Are you a teacher or parent looking for your students to perform at Disney World? Let me talk about the opportunities, how that works out, what you can do, and how to plan for those trips. The first thing we're going to talk about is all the opportunities that you can have to perform at Disney World. Now, we're going to primarily focus on student groups, but these are also opportunities for different communities, organizations that perform as well, but we're going to focus on schools for this video. There are 3 different opportunities performing at Disney World. That's Disney Performing Arts on Stage, that's your festivals, and your workshops. Now, under Disney Performing Arts on Stage, that is primarily 2 different opportunities. That being in the parade, walking down Main Street, USA, as a marching band or a dance group, or Disney's Candlelight Processional, held at Epcot, which is a holiday tradition where school and community choirs will join a 50-piece orchestra and a celebrity narrator, where they will retell the story of Christmas twice a night at Epcot during the holiday season. The second is the workshops, and this includes Disney Sings, where the choirs and students can join with a professional Disney vocalist, and they can even possibly record a Disney song. They'll also learn about voice acting and all the work that goes into that. Then they can also do Dance the Disney Way, where dance troupes can join a Disney choreographer and learn all the different dance moves and how they orchestrate for different movies, plays, etc. at Disney World. And then there's the festivals. Obviously, the biggest one is going to be Festival of the Arts, held every year at Epcot. There's a lot of performing opportunities at Epcot, if you couldn't tell. And this is where they'll bring in groups to perform in different areas around the showcase to promote their skills, different art forms, and show off. A similar opportunity is Disney's Music Days, where students can come and compete in different events or perform at Disney World. Now, this one doesn't happen on a regular basis anymore, but it is something that they still do sometimes. So what kind of groups can come in and perform at Disney World? Well, there's marching bands, concert bands, choir and vocal ensembles, dance groups, show choirs, color guard and auxiliary units, and even theater groups. There's various ways to plan to be part of these events, but let's talk about how to plan once you've been selected and you've decided to go. Step 1, choose the dates. When planning a performing field trip to Disney World, choose the right dates is a crucial step. You'll want to consider factors such as school schedule, weather, crowd levels. I personally recommend dates that are off-season, such as January, February, or September. This helps you avoid crowds and hot weather, though September is still kind of hot. Additionally, be sure to check park schedules to make sure the attractions and performances your groups want to do are available on those dates. Next, you'll want to go ahead and book your accommodations. Booking accommodations in advance is important to ensure that you have the right number of rooms and beds for your group. Disney World has many options for accommodations, both on-site and off. This includes hotels, vacation homes, and when booking, make sure you ask for group discounts and amenities so that your students can participate in. Sometimes having a complimentary breakfast can make a big difference in funding. Transportation. Transportation is another important consideration when planning a performing field trip to Disney World. You'll want to choose the most convenient and cost-effective method for transportation for your group. Depending on the size of your group, you may want to consider renting a bus or a van. You can also check your school district to see if they have transportation options available. I want to take a quick moment to tell you about my own family business, which is Blue Ridge Tours. It's been in business for 33 years. It was started by my stepfather, who is a former state trooper in South Carolina. And so it's very focused on safety and making sure that students have a safe and phenomenal time on all of their trips. Today, my mother happens to run it, and I can tell you it's amazing how all the steps that have made her just perfect for this position. You see, when I was growing up, she didn't get to travel a lot because we just didn't have a lot of funds. So she understands how much of a pressure some of these trips can put on families. So she's great at helping figure out fundraising and sponsors for the students. She also knows about some of the harder things that students can deal with, such as being embarrassed. As a chubby child, I was worried about fitting on rides as part of the reason I do what I do today with fat testing rides. So I go and I can test all the rides and help give parents an idea of what their child might want to avoid if they're on the heavier side so they don't get embarrassed in front of their friends. And this one's a little bit more embarrassing, but as a child, I had a problem wetting the bed until I was quite a bit older. So I was terrified to go on these trips. Today, my mom has worked out and she understands and remembers that. So they've worked out signals and things and different procedures to help a child make sure they have a plan and are not embarrassed for such things. By the way, if you're interested in plus size travel, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can see as I fat test rides all over the world so you can know what you're comfortable with. Sometimes it's those difficult things that we went through that really help us to plan and be able to be a help to others. And my mom has been through those things, and so now it's amazing what she's been able to do. So if you're interested in taking one of these trips, make sure to check out blueridgetours.net. I'll leave the link below. But it's a phenomenal opportunity, and we work with some amazing people to help you have a great time. But let's get back to the tips. Once you've got all your basics covered, you want to make sure that you have your itinerary planned out. Now, this can be all of the parks. This can be Animal Kingdom. This can be Epcot. There are a lot of other educational opportunities as well as a lot of fun opportunities to be had at Disney World. One of the other opportunities I recommend while performing, especially in the Epcot area, is the Behind the Scenes tour. This is going to be a small edition, but it's an hour-long tour where you learn all about the different agricultural techniques that they use in living with the land and different opportunities Disney does for agriculture around the world. And finally, safety and security. You want to make sure to teach all of your students the rules of the parks, have procedures in place to find one another, and make sure you have the right amount of chaperones to keep in place with all of your students. Planning a trip to Disney World to perform is not a simple action, but it is a memorable one that your students will remember forever. So there you have it. Please leave comments below if you have any questions about performing at Disney World, and make sure to check out blueridgetours.net to contact my mom and ask for help planning your next school trip. See you at Disney. And go ahead and check out this plus size walkthrough of the parks.